Hi, I'm Tiffany Guarnaccia, the CEO of Kite PR. We are so excited for this series. It's modern mentorship, but it's the Young Lions edition. And with me today, I have Amy Tunick. She's the CMO of NCM. Amy, please say hello and introduce yourself.
Hi, Tiffany. Thank you so much for having me. As you said, I'm Amy Tunick, Chief Marketing Officer at National CineMedia, or NCM, the largest cinema advertising platform, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today.
I'm so excited to have you. So tell us a little bit more about how NCM is involved with the Young Lions this year.
Sure. We have the honor of being the only U.S. representative to the Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity. All around the world, Cannes has organizations that act as a rep in those markets. Obviously, the United States is one of the largest and most engaged markets, and the role of representative essentially is an extension of Cannes' marketing arm. We oversee the annual Young Lions competition from soup to nuts, including all sorts of extensions and partnerships, which we'll get into in a minute. We also help facilitate the festival juror nominations, which is a very highly coveted opportunity for very senior executives in the advertising industry. And we basically help promote all the things that Cannes stands for throughout the year, including creativity, thought leadership, and mentorship.
Fantastic. Well, now I know if someone's looking to win a Young Lion in the future, you are the one to talk to, Amy, because you have all of the inside track about this fantastic award series and some of the events. NCM is such an interesting company. I've always really been interested in the work that you're doing because it really relates to some of the trends that we're seeing around Gen Z. And I noticed a lot of the shift in behavior. Maybe you could just give us a little bit more of an inside scoop as to how Gen Z is engaging with content and culture like the movies today.
Yeah, perfect. So NCM's been around over 20 years. When you go to the movies and you get there early with your popcorn and you get settled in your seat, what we do is we have all of the content, or the inventory, I should say, of premium video on the big screen that leads up to the trailers and the feature film. That content is usually a mix of some editorial or original series, some branded content, and some advertisers. And that's what we do. We go out to the advertising universe and we talk about how they can reach that coveted Gen Z and young millennial audience who are powering today's box office. The cultural impact of the movies is undeniable. There were a couple of rough years there during COVID, but essentially they're back, they're better than ever, and it's a young, diverse audience that is going every single week and week in, week out, whether it's a giant blockbuster like a Captain America or a Thunderbolts or a Superman or a Jurassic World, or it's a more niche, maybe horror film like a Megan 2.0, or some of the very worthy Oscar noms that recently, we saw Honora just win, with the director winning a huge record of 4 wins in one night. The young, diverse Gen Zs are kind of getting their culture in the last version of appointment viewing that exists, which is at the movie theater. A very powerful shared experience.
And when I look towards your career, you've really been able to be at this intersection of entertainment and culture and content, and your passion for the business comes through. To get to where you are now, did you rely on mentorship? And what does mentorship mean to you?
Yeah, it's so important. And one of the things that I've been doing in this current role, leaning into our role as U.S. Representative Cannes Lions, is pulling together that next generation of Gen Zs and also the rising stars of the advertising industry who are the ones applying for the annual Young Lions competition, and sort of linking that with, of course, who powers the box office today on the movie side. But for me, it's always been about how do I lean into mentorship in whatever role I'm in, either through a program that we create, like what we're doing today with Young Lions, or through my own leadership style. I love kind of having a very transparent and authentic relationship with the team members that report to me, or I have managers who they report to. It's all about connecting with them. And so probably the things that I've learned most about mentorship in my career have been from people on my teams. Obviously, it's good to have someone to look up to and to learn from, but I learn a lot also from the next gen and the rising stars. That's helped me stay fresh and current and connect the dots with culture.
I love that that's the approach that you've taken. A lot of what you do, especially as CMO, it's about finding inspiration. So where do you find inspiration today?
I am probably like many other marketing executives, somewhat obsessed with LinkedIn. I am constantly kind of learning and scrolling and getting inspired by different posts from, individuals that I follow, or even just people in my network, learning what they're doing, how they're pivoting their careers. One person that I absolutely love following is Evan Shapiro. He's known as the Media Universe Cartographer. I've learned so much just simply from reading his analysis of data and the shifts at the most macro level of what's happening, in particular in the entertainment industry as it intersects with advertising. How streaming fits in, how the studios have pivoted, who all the big players are, the M&A that goes on. So he's an example of kind of some inspiration. And then on the creative side, I spent 15 years early in my career at Gray, the ad agency. And so being able to stay connected to executive creative directors, chief creative officers, in particular through this Cannes Lions program, but just also through my own network. I'm always looking to see what those individuals are posting and putting out, what work they're proud of, what work they're commenting on. And how advertising takes so many different shapes and forms. I'm a huge passion for experiential marketing. So I'm always looking for leaders in the experiential space to see what they're doing and how they're engaging in very memorable one-to-one, brand moments with consumers. So those are some of the examples of how I get inspired.
I love that you brought up LinkedIn. That's something that we're seeing just continue to be on the rise. Really, post-pandemic, we saw a big shift towards a lot of folks going onto LinkedIn, connecting with others, using it as a source of inspiration. Especially today, it's such a big place for really connecting with others and executives investing more in personal branding, in telling their own story, in realizing that if you are at the helm of a company, people buy from people, right? So it's not only about learning and what insights you can share, but it's how does that connect back to some of the reasons that you're there, and what does that mean in terms of how you fit into the broader ecosystem. So there's so much to pull from that perspective. I certainly go to LinkedIn when it comes to finding out not only developments within my broader network, but news today. It's become a bigger news source for me. So lots of inspiration there for sure. So as we think about the Young Lions this year, I'm so excited for the competition. There's a lot of aspiring professionals that are submitting for awards. I can't wait to hear more at the festival this year in June. So when you're thinking about some of the folks that will be in the room, what is the biggest piece of advice that you can give to some of those young professionals?
Sure. I love staying connected with my network. And I think one of the things probably early on in my career that I didn't do as well, obviously we didn't have all the same tools that we have today, but staying in touch and networking with individuals you meet every single step along the way of your career is my biggest piece of advice. I started, my first job was in the mailroom at the William Morris Agency in the agent training program, which is one of the giant talent agencies. It doesn't exist anymore. It's part of Endeavor now. But that mailroom training program was literally kind of like getting your MBA in entertainment while you literally pushed around a mail cart and delivered checks and faxes and scripts. And the people that I was doing that with all have gone on to become huge players in entertainment and media. And so I do have some of those connections still intact, but the number of people I met during those early formative years, had I continued to stay in touch with them, I think my network would be even stronger than it is today. So just staying in touch, finding ways to keep checking in with people that you really enjoyed working with or that inspire you. Those authentic relationships will last a lifetime.
Such good advice, Amy, to stay connected, especially as you continue to think about young professionals as they look at how they're developing their career. I've heard time and time again that your network is your net worth, and that's something that I certainly believe. Well, I'm excited for the Young Lions this year. Tell me, why are you excited for the Young Lions this year?
Yes. Well, our every year we have a nonprofit that's featured in the brief that the Young Lions competitors have to, solve business and communication challenges on behalf of. This year, the nonprofit is Why Hunger, which is a very worthy organization. And what we have coming up in the competition are in-person finals presentations in several categories, and then our winners announcement, which is on April 9th in New York City. So maybe it'll have been passed by the time we share this content. But I just love that moment. It's like the career defining experience when somebody learns that they won and that they're going to the Cannes Lions Festival for the first time as a 20-something. It's, imposter syndrome and excitement all wrapped up in one. And we actually do provide them with advisors or mentors to help guide them from the moment they learn they win to the moment they get to the festival and compete on the global stage. So it's that moment where they learn that they are winning and seeing their faces and then how they prepare. That's what I'm most excited for. And then, of course, it's fun to see them on the French Riviera enjoying and competing again.
Yes, that's fantastic. I certainly love Cannes Lions as well when it comes to the festival. And to your point, it's celebrating the creativity that powers our industry. So many conversations that I have in the day-to-day is all about technology and the rise of AI and the impacts of these different pieces that we're seeing emerge in the broader ecosystem. But when it comes down to it, there is so much power in creativity and in the connection that conferences like this provide. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Amy. It's been a great conversation.
Thank you for having me, and agree. It's all about the big idea. So let's do it.
Fantastic. Thank you.